tralala, papapi, tralalero tralala.
If I scared you off, then I'm quite sorry. But I just wanted to illustrate my point, and this is that current content on YouTube is poison, quite literally. But not every content, of course. And what I'm talking about is content especially made for kids. Like this Brainrot content sometimes, but more direct the content that is made for kids. And when we look at those videos, the good ones or like the good working ones, then we can see one of two elements or more. That first of all, we have massive views, they're working insanely good, and second of all, they are absurd, fast-paced, repetitive, and stimulating. And I want to ask, why do they work so good and what are further implications of these videos? But before we start this, I want to give you 3 examples. The first video I've picked out is Cocomelon's If You're Happy and You Know It, Clap Your Hands, but with a dinosaur. What an amazing twist. And this video was released 8 days ago and has 5.5 million views. For Cocomelon, which is one of the largest YouTube channels, it is underperforming, but still insanely good. I mean, this channel has 197 million subscribers, insane number. The second video that I've picked out is by the fuck boom, the creator of Skibidi Toilet. Okay. And he released part 79 of his incredible saga, better than Harry Potter, better than Lord of the Rings. This video gained 16 million views. And the third video is Party Tunes, Italian Brainrot Lullabies. Yeah, has 17 million views. Let's go over to the question, why do these videos work so well? First of all, they take the developmental vulnerabilities of infants. So we have bright colors and high contrast. If you ever were in a casino or did see a casino scene in a movie, then you see exactly this. High colors, high bright colors, high contrast, flashing lights, bright lights. Captures your attention, keeps you hooked. Then you have surprises and rewards. When you pull the lever and you win the big prize. We can take Mr. Beast as an example. Suddenly in the video the contestants are winning Teslas, or at the end they're winning insane cash prizes. This triggers the dopaminergic system, dopamine is being released. This is quite addictive. Repetition builds familiarity. The more you watch this content, the more it is pushed, because the algorithms see what you like. They give you more of the drug, of the stimulants that you like and need. Not need, but perhaps you think you need this. And then the more we are familiar with something, the more we go towards it, and therefore we watch it quite a lot more. Because the attention span of the infants, of the younger children, is still low. We can say about 2 times of the age. We gotta keep them hooked, okay? 2 to 5 seconds. Edit, cut. Something new is in the image all the time to keep them hooked and looking, of course. Absurdity leads to curiosity. Those AI Brainrot things, they're very absurd, very weird, mad. But they are so absurd that we are curious. What does this do? What is it about? And children, they still care about the world. They don't know much about the world, and they want to get to know more about the world. And when they see weird creatures dancing on the magic screen, then they want to know more. This leads to clicks, of course. So now I want to talk now about psychological consequences. What does it do? What are the implications? And I mean, it can't be that good, and it really isn't. So to make a general statement here, all this content influences your dopaminergic system, and chronic exposure to this type of video leads to less prefrontal cortex development. This means, therefore, that we have more impulsivity, less rationality, less control, but also less mental energy. These fast edits in the videos that want to keep you hooked, of course, train your shallow focus and decrease your attention span. We can see that around 15 to 20% of the attention span is lost after having an intense session of watching this content. So kids can't focus as good post watching the content for about 15 to 20% of their initial focus. We also have certain implications on social emotional level. So of course, kids need to mimic the environment, need to mimic their parents in order to learn how to speak, in order to express emotions, in order to understand emotions generally. And when they see this type of content, for example, they see Skibidi Toilet, they will mimic this. They will mimic the songs, they will sing the songs because they're addictive, because they are hooking them. And second of all, this might also lead to aggression if they are exposed to more aggressive content. Like 7% show more aggression after watching this type of content. Then, or aggression is being 7% increased, to make it exact, I'm sorry, that they will show more violence, perhaps, especially when taking their truck away. I'm quite sure that you've seen those type of videos where the children have their iPads or tablets or whatever, or smartphones being taken away, and then they just cry and they push and they do whatever to get their stuff back.
What? What's gonna happen? What's gonna happen?
Because that's the reaction a kid shows when they don't really know how to express themselves. Also, like the passive viewing of this content, it hinders the face-to-face interaction that is really necessary to learn for the kids. But generally, said once again, early use below 4, but I would also say below 8, has negative ties to behavioral development or generally ties to behavioral problems. I want to give you more data, further impacts, therefore. So the attention span is 2 times of the age. But we can say that the baseline is 8 to 12 minutes of attention span. It decreases to 4 to 6 minutes. I've also read that the average human has an attention span of 8 seconds, which is such an insane number to me that I don't really believe my sources, and I want you to double check this. Write it in the comments what you get. We also see sleep disruption. So the sleep cycles of 30 to 40% of the kids is being disrupted, which means less development, less balanced hormones, less growth. Overall, not that good. Then we also have obesity risk, because the kids sit a lot and eat and don't move as much, which is important for their health. And then they also gain obesity. How wonderful, isn't it? Overall, we can say that they have cognitive delays, linguistic problems like in linguistic development, attention issues, social emotional problems, and emotional understanding problems. I want to also clarify once again that I'm talking about this type of brainrot content that is especially made for kids. There's wonderful content out on YouTube where you can learn, where you can become a better person, but this is not the type. And I'm talking here about a base of 500 to 800 million children that are accessing YouTube below the age of 12 years. We also need to clarify that there is a disparity in lower income households and higher income households. So generally said, the average screen time of kids between 0 to 8 years is around 2 hours, where only 30 minutes is YouTube. And of course, like certain age groups are pushing the numbers. I can't believe that a 0-year-old is watching Mr. Beast. I mean, he doesn't understand what he's even saying and he can't move. Like, what should these kids be watching? Lower income households have a higher average screen time at around 3 hours, and higher income households have a screen time of about 1 to 1.5 hours. So what is there to do? So for parents, be aware what your kids are doing. Don't give them a tablet, a phone at such a young age where they have less impulse control, where they generally don't understand the world is good, because it could addict them, it could hook them onto a drug that will be very hard to replace, as smartphones, tablets, computers and so on will have more and more an important role in this digital world. And for this, consider leaving a like and subscribe, watch my videos, go onto my Patreon where there's another good information that might help you understand this video or other content. It's still very good. Of course, this is confirmation bias, but see you in the next one.